Hey everybody, Nettie Owens here with Sapari Solutions, and I'm joining you today to talk about how I reinvented my business, let go of clutter, and paid myself more, and how you can do it as well. And we're going to get started in just a moment here, right at the top of the hour at 4 o'clock, and I'm just really glad to be here with you today. So, full confession, I decided to run this webinar on a whim. So using a brand new software, so I'm just gonna go with that and see how it works out. Trying something new here today. Just wanted to, well, I had a few things I wanted to share and I didn't want to wait. So I'm gonna pause here for just a second and take care of one detail, and then we'll be right back to it. Okay, all right, so here we are. We're going to get started on how I reinvented my business, let go of clutter, paid myself more, and how you can as well. Let me know in the comments how this is working for you. I've got the shared screen up, but it's not taking up the whole space. So let me know how that works for you, and I can always make some adjustments there. Comment below, say hi. I'm so glad that you're here joining me today, and I would love to hear how all of this is striking you today. But let's start off just by saying hello and letting me know where you are from. All right, so we're going to get started. Today we're going to talk about, well, I already said what we're going to talk about, and it's going to be a really relaxed setting, as much as it can be here on Facebook Live. So feel free to ask me any questions that you have that come up, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. You can always put some comments in below, and I will come back and answer them at any point. But you are welcome to share. If you're here live with me, share where you're from. And if you're watching the replay, type replay. That way I know exactly where people joined us from. And I have a happy little kitten here with me. So if you hear her mewing, that's what you're hearing in the background. All right, so I'd love to start just by asking you a question. If you could reinvent yourself, who or what would you be? If you could reinvent yourself. So often we get stuck in this idea that we have to be exactly who we are right now. And the reality is we could be anyone or anything that we desire. So if that's the truth for you, who or what would you be if you could be something totally different? I was once working with a client who said she had always dreamed of being a lawyer, but it was too late. And I thought, goodness gracious, how sad. At what point did it become too late? We can always try something new. And I'd like you next to think about sharing a time that you failed. I put that in quotes because I don't really believe in failing and failure as, you know, as a standalone thing. Typically, if we make a mistake, if things don't work out, there's a lesson to be learned there. So I don't really buy into this idea of failure, but tell me about a time that you feel like that you failed, and what skills did you gain from that experience? What did you learn in that experience? And as you're thinking about that, I would love for you to also flip it around and share a time that you succeeded. How did you do it? How did you succeed? So often we take these successes and we almost brush them off as if that's exactly how it was supposed to happen, without actually really sinking into and understanding what we did to get there, what we did to succeed. I had a business coach who would walk us through this process and then ask us what we were learning. And it was always something new, but the successes and the failures both offered a ton of information about what skills and what information we could use going forward. So I just love for you to ponder those ideas as we go through this presentation today, because they're really going to lay a foundation for our conversation here. So in our time together here, I would love to share with you how to leverage your business, your knowledge, and your expertise for business growth. We're going to talk about 3 different ways that you can shift your business model for more time, more money, and less stress, and the importance of value-based pricing and how to create it. Well, I'm passionate about all of this stuff, but this idea of value-based pricing is honestly the differentiator between businesses that get it and grow and ones that stay kind of stuck at this bottleneck. So we're definitely going to cover that. I've put down about an hour of time for us here, and I would encourage you, because this is a recorded class, I love that you're here live, but if you would consider watching it once and then watching it a second time, and in the second time pausing for some time to journal as we go along. Okay, so I'll ask you questions that you can type into the chat box, but I would also ask that you pause if you go back to the recording and journal as you go along. And I want to just remind everybody here, thank you so much for coming in. Share where you're from and what brought you to our class today. This is going to be a really laid back class. I decided to do it on a whim. And so with that being said, I don't have everything perfectly all together, but to me, I thought it was more important that I get out today and share this with you because I felt like there was someone that needed this information today. So I didn't want to wait until it was perfect. I took imperfect action, and I'm glad and thankful that you will bear with me for that. All right, so you're going to walk away from today with a plan to use your knowledge and expertise to reinvent your business, let go of the clutter, and pay yourself more. So first, I want to start by sharing my journey. And I share this journey to help you understand that the path, as you probably already well know, is not straight. So when I started my company, I started as a professional organizer back in 2004. And when I began, it was just me, but soon, very soon after, I had my very first subcontractor, and then another, and then another. And at one point, I had an organizing agency, and our agency focused on working with chronically disorganized people, which means folks for whom ADHD, depression, anxiety, hoarding, PTSD, things like that are impacting their ability to get and stay organized. And so I trained organizers in this. We were known in the area as one of the biggest organizing companies and the go-to place if you wanted to learn how to become an organizer. So some of these pictures here are my team. We worked really well together, and we had a great time doing that. As I said, I founded my company in 2004. My very first client was chronically disorganized. I didn't even know what that word meant at the time, but I soon found out. And I really, as I said, built a business around it. I joined NAPO, the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Specialists, and I hired my first contractor within the first year. By 2010, I had 8 organizers that were trained, and I had to update my business model. I joined the Institute for Challenging Disorganization. In 2011, things were just humming along here. I converted my business model to employees, and I was a guest, or the guest organizer on the TV show Hoarding Buried Alive, which was definitely a highlight. Soon after that, I wrote my book, The Take Control System, and in 2014, I received the CPOCD designation, which is the Certified Professional Organizer in Chronic Disorganization. In 2016, 10 more organizers had been trained. And at the beginning of 2017, my business was growing and expanding. I had 6 employees, a marketing director, a customer care specialist, and my path to $1 million was set. I knew exactly how I was going to get there, what I was going to do, and this was the year that it was going to become a reality for me. I was on my way. In 2017, halfway through the year, all of my employees had left. All of them, for various reasons, but they were all gone. And suddenly my path to $1 million disappeared with them. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, how I was going to move forward, who I was supposed to work with, if I was supposed to continue my organizing business or do something completely different. And I gotta say, I felt like a failure. It was such a huge disappointment. And it took me by surprise. I mean, I had been looking forward to the plan that I had made. I had no idea what to do next, but I felt a calling on my heart that that this was exactly as it was supposed to be. It was so painful, but I knew in my heart that this was a gift. And I don't know, maybe you've been there or you're there right now in your business where you're stuck where you are, and maybe you're not listening to the direction that you're getting, and it's going to take something massive to shake you up. Well, that's what happened to me, and I was walking on an uncharted path. And as much as I knew this was exactly the way things were meant to be, it still took a good amount of wine and chocolate, sitting on the couch talking to my friends who were supporting me and helping me through this. Jennifer, I'm so glad this is hitting you in such a positive way. I just want you to know right now, for those that are watching, that the path of an entrepreneur is not a straight one, and it can be really painful at times. And you can often, like on a daily basis, you can feel like you want to quit, like this is not worth it. In fact, I will tell you that today, as I pulled this webinar together, and I thought, it's not perfect. I don't know what I'm doing to put this out there like this. I'm not sure who's going to come on. I don't have all the pieces together exactly right. I shouldn't be doing this. I should just quit. I mean, this is something that happens to all entrepreneurs on a regular basis. And certainly at this time, there were a lot of tears. Even though I knew it was the right way to go, it still was painful. And some ice cream and some sighing and all of the things that come with it. And all of that, oh look, I'm wearing the same dress. All of that to get to here, to get to a point where I love what I do. Not to say I didn't love being an organizer, but I love what I do. And I have people talk to me every day and say, I see what you're doing, and I've noticed, where you are and how you're showing up. And I'm making changes, real changes for real business owners in order to do the thing that they're supposed to do and grow their businesses and serve the world in the way that they're supposed to do. So it took, a rough path, but it was the path that had to be walked, because without that path, I would not have this particular story to reach and touch you. Everything would have been sunshine and roses. And as much as I love sunshine and roses, the lessons that I needed to learn that I could then teach to others had to happen first. And that may be where you are right now. So what I'm going to talk to you about right now is the one thing that you need in order to leverage your business knowledge, to shift your business, and to value yourself more. And that thing is a vision, to be blunt about it. And I do a very specific kind of visioning that I'm going to share a little bit with you right now. But in order to be confident to walk that uncharted path, you have to have a clear vision of where you're going. I call this your rear view vision. It's about stepping into the future reality of where you're going and then turning around and looking at exactly what you see that path to be. You're stepping into it in faith and understanding that things may be really different right now. Your reality of where you are right now may be completely different from the vision that you're creating in your mind. And it's important to still put yourself there, to not discount it, to not say, I'm going to stay small and play small because I don't see the path forward. It's seeing the future and then creating the path to get there. And I will share, and I shared this on my video this week, that if your vision is focused only on a monetary goal, it's too small. Money is wonderful, and it's an opportunity to express yourself, to help others, to serve your family, and it's absolutely necessary. And if you're not in business to make money, to receive money, then you're not in business. However, there's a larger goal, the larger vision that has to be part of the conversation. And that conversation is around the impact that you're going to make. So your vision is the impact, the bigger picture of everything that you're creating. So it starts with this vision that I'm talking about. And this vision defines where you are going. So if I would love for you to answer this question, and you can type it into the chat here. If you're here live or if you're watching the replay, you can type it there. Where are you going? If you just have the next two things that I'm going to share with you about mission and core values, if you just have that, but you don't have vision, you will absolutely burn out because you'll waste all your energy in the unknown of, when am I going to reach my destination? I'm having a great time on this journey, and I'm living my mission. I'm helping people, and I'm sticking to my core values. But if we don't know what that end destination looks like, then you will absolutely burn out before you get there. So being really crystal clear on where you're going. And the way that I do that is to do this rear view vision exercise, where I pretend, it's 30 days or 6 months or a year or 2 years, 5 years, lifetime down the road. And then I speak as if it's a reality now. And if you'd like to see me demonstrate this activity on this Facebook feed at Sapari Solutions, so facebook.com/Sapari Solutions, I recorded my lifetime rear view vision the other day. You can check that out. The next question is, what can you leverage in order to get there? What knowledge or experience do you already have that you can use in order to create that vision? You're not doing this without tools in your toolkit. No one is. We all have already received so much that we can use to create our vision. You're not doing this empty-handed. And that was a reality that I needed to understand in 2017. Was I wasn't starting from scratch. I had already built a successful business. And so what could I do to take those tools and apply them going forward? Once you have your vision set, you're going to focus on your mission. And your mission is what you do and who you serve. So what do you do? What are the skill sets that you're bringing to the table that you can apply here? And who needs that? Or asking, what do they need? And do I have the skill set to help them in that way? So I know for my clients, for my people, for you sitting there watching, I know you're overwhelmed. I know your schedules are, conflicting and complicated. I know you want to serve your family, but there's something in your mind or in your heart that's bigger than that, that's even bigger than just serving your family. There's community outreach. There's a world mission that you have. You've been burdened with some sort of task, and I know that. I know that about you, but I also know you're struggling to get there. I know you've been in business already for a little while, that you're beyond the startup phase, and there's some frustration about, why was I able to get this off the ground, but I can't take it to the next level. I know that about you because I know who I serve, and I know that my job, as in my role in this, is to help you see a very clear vision of where you're going, to help you create the path to get there, can make the connections for you and with you that are going to create the network for you, and to sit with you and be with you and hold that vision and help you unpack it, because I know for a fact that you have everything you need already. I know that for a fact. And it's just a matter of tapping into and accessing that. So I know that, and I know who I serve, and I know how I serve them. But what do you do? Who do you serve, and how do you serve them? What's the truth about your mission? And if you know your mission and you're willing to share it, type it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it and to share it with others too. Beyond your mission are your core values. Your core values, I call this your star culture. It's who you show up as. And there's my core values right there in this tiny picture. I'm curious to see how this comes through on Facebook. Like I said, I'm using a totally different system than I've ever used before, and hoping that it turns out really well. So here's for imperfect action. But your core values, your star culture, who are you? And who do you need to show up as in order to serve your clients to your highest ability? So for me, I have an image that I hold in my mind, and it defines who I am, and it defines how I show up. That means that when something goes wrong, when a client situation doesn't work out, who I am doesn't change. My clients don't define me. My work doesn't define me. My family doesn't define me. I have value, and I have an identity that is within me that is unshakable. So when someone doesn't pay you, or when you can't seem to get the proposal to go through, or when the project was supposed to work but it didn't, or that launch that didn't work, or your spouse is asking you, when is this going to work? All of that does not change who you are, because on the inside, in your mind, at your core, you are who you are, and that has to show up in your business. I see so many businesses and business owners trying to show up like someone else. They look at another business and they say, you know what, this business was successful doing these XYZ things, and so I'm going to try that. And they put on that persona, and they put on those tasks, and they put on that skill set, and it doesn't fit because it's not who they are. It's not their mission. It's not who they were supposed to serve. It's not their core values and their star culture. It's not their vision of where they're going. Jennifer, thank you so much. She said, your presentation is so clear and so well done, and I really appreciate hearing that. Thank you. As I continue to go, as I said, I kind of just brought this out, and I felt like someone needed to hear it, and so I put it together, even though it was not perfect. So that's what you needed to hear today. I'm so thankful. So your core values, who must you be in order to reach your vision? And I gotta tell you, sometimes you're not being yourself, and you're going to have to step into the you that is able to play that bigger game. Who must you be to reach your vision? Step back there for just a second and go ahead and, if you're watching the replay and you can pause it, I want you to journal on this question. Who must you be in order to reach your vision? And you're going to have to ask yourself this on a daily basis. Who do you need to show up as? Who do your people need you to show up as? All right, we're going to keep going here. Letting go of the clutter. So once you have your vision and your mission and your core values clearly defined. And actually, let me pause here for just a second. I'm going to type something in and share with you a resource. I put this together. It's called The Roadmap to Freedom. And I really wasn't even planning to do this, but I'm just going to put it in here right now. If you text the word freedom to 411321, I'm going to put that on the screen. Will it let me? If you text the word freedom to 411321, I walk you through this process of identifying your vision, your mission, and your core values. In fact, there are 9 key principles that I walk you through in this book, and you can have it for free. My gift to you, all you need to do is text the word freedom to 411321, and I'm going to leave that up on the screen just in case you need it. Oh, look. So as I said, imperfect action. I just, it's bringing up my PowerPoint presentation so you can see where, let's delete that. All right. Perfect. All right, there we go. Your next step is to let go of the clutter. So number 1 was reinvention and identifying who you are. And the second thing is to let go of the clutter. You are not going to get where you are by holding on to the past. You're not going to get you're not going to get to where you are going by holding on to the past. And I did not have a clear image of this step until this past weekend. And I've shared this, actually this is the second time today I will have shared this story. But this past weekend, I went with my daughter to a Girl Scout trip, and the girls, 10-year-old girls, all got on a ropes course, and they were 20 feet up in the air, hooked up to all sorts of equipment, and going on these bridges and obstacles and things like that. And they were totally safe, right? There was no harm that could come to you. And this is the reality for the most part for you as well. As much as it feels like an illusion of you're going to fail or something bad is going to happen, that fear is your fear. The reality is everything that's happening to you is happening for a reason. Every experience that you have is going to lead you to the knowledge that you need in order to grow. There's no chance for failure here, only deeper and greater learning and understanding. So, oh, thank you, Jen. I love it too. So here's what happened this weekend. They're on this ropes course. They're all hooked up. And the first step was so scary, to step off of the platform and rely only on these ropes. But the reality is they always had ropes. They were always supported. And then to take the first step. And the girls, almost all of them, were so afraid. I can't do it. And some of them were in tears, just so afraid that something was going to happen to them. And I actually called out. I was like, what is the worst thing that could happen to you right now? We could fall. Okay, yes. And in fact, your support system is so strong and you're so small, actually, that your rope is taut. If you fell, you wouldn't actually go anywhere. Or if you did, it would be like 3 inches. Now, the girls who got this actually played with their support system, and they let go and they let it fully hold them up. But the other girls who, they were just taking that first step forward, one of them got into a position where she was holding a rope in front of her that was going to help pull her forward. And she was holding a rope behind her. And she was absolutely stuck. There was nowhere she could go while she had 1 foot in her future and 1 foot in her past. One rope into her future and one into her past. And she had to let go of the rope behind her in order to move forward. I mean, there were like, from a marketing standpoint, I'm watching everything here unfold and going, wow, I've got like a year's worth of blogs right here and everything that was happening. So finally, she let go of her past, the rope behind her, and she stepped forward and she stepped forward again, and she made it to the next platform. And the next bridge that she had to cross, she was so scared, but she knew. She got a little bit farther before she said, there's just no way, I can't do it. And yet she did it. She went to the next one, and to the next one, 10 more bridges, and then the zip line. And by the end, she was on cloud 9 of everything that she had accomplished. And she could not have she couldn't have started with the zip line. That would have been too much. And she couldn't have started with the bridge that was really, really rickety, and she had to trust her support system even more. She had to start with the one that was the most stable. But even there, at the moment where she was, it was so scary. What are you holding on to that you need to let go of in order to move forward in your business? Is it a feeling? Is it a belief? Is it, an idea of where you are or of where you could go? What is it that you need to let go of? In our businesses, we do have physical clutter that keeps us locked in. And our environment certainly has a profound effect on the work that we do. But more impactful, from my perspective, are the beliefs that you hold on to. Then those are the things most often that business owners, that entrepreneurs need to let go of in order to move forward. So I'm going to ask you one more time, what are you holding on to that you need to let go of in order to move forward? And I know this is a really big, scary question, but when I've done this presentation for a live group, I've asked the participants to write it down on a piece of paper. And then what I would like you to do, if you're watching this along live or recorded, is I'd like you to do this exercise too. I want you to write down what it is that's holding you back from the growth in your business. What is it that's keeping you from being that bird that flies versus the chain that's where you are right now, stuck? And then I want you to take that piece of paper and I want you to rip it into shreds And I actually want you, I don't care if you're in your office, if you're in a coffee shop, I don't care where you are, I want you to write it down, I want you to rip it up, and wherever you are right now, I want you to throw it in the air and let it land on the floor. I know this sounds like a silly experiment, but I want you to do that with me. And when you have done it, I want you to type, I did it, I let go, in the comments below. How could you deliver your vision, your mission, your core values differently than what you're doing right now? What if you could wave a magic wand on your business? What if you could do anything? What if you knew that your support system was so strong that even if you fell, you actually wouldn't go anywhere at all? What is holding you back? Are you holding on to that rope behind you? Do you need to step forward? It doesn't even have to be a big step, just a step forward. It could be an inch and it's still moving forward. It could be a centimeter. It could be a millimeter and it would still be moving forward. I want you to let go of the rope behind you. I want you to let go of the idea of how your business might need to be delivered, of what you were supposed to do, of the failures that you've had. I want you to let go of all of it in order to step forward. People are waiting for you to show up as that person that's going to help them. People are waiting for you to help them take the next step. And while you're holding on to this rope behind you, you're not moving forward, you're not moving backwards, you're not going anywhere. You are in, and it might feel safe, but you're stuck and you're never going to grow from that point. So there's something that you have to let go of. I want you to write it down. I want you to rip it up. I want you to throw it away. And then I want you to comment in this presentation right here. Tell me that you did it. There are 3 shifts that you can make for more time, more money, and less stress in your business. Right now, you may have a current formula where you are the one delivering a particular service or product or wearing all the hats, or you may yet already have employees or subcontractors that are doing the work for you or doing parts of the work. But right now, in order to grow, you're going to need to make a shift in your business. My model, and it didn't end up working out so well for me. It does work for other people, and this is what I want to remind you of. The professional organizing business has not gone away. In fact, I feel like it's needed now more than ever. It just wasn't my business. But my model was reliant on me or my employees delivering the services to the clients, and they paid us by the hour. We did amazing work. You can kind of see a before and after picture here, that we really helped people get from a space where they couldn't even move, kind of like our girl stuck on the bridge, to being able to use their home, their space to move forward, to live their mission, whatever that was for them. But my model relied on me or my employees working for an hour and then being paid for that hour. I call that dollars for hours. There are shifts that you can make in your business. So you are no longer trading a dollar for an hour, right? There are other ways that your business could be delivered, and I want you to consider what those other ways could be. What shifts could you make in how you deliver your business in order that you unhitch yourself, don't unhinge yourself, from that particular model? What could you do if you were to just think outside the box a little bit here? Could you write about your experience and how you got to where you are right now? Could you train others? Could you create a system and sell the system? Could you become a keynote speaker? Could you look at a different market segment that you may not be paying attention to right now? Could you create a product? If you have a product, could you create a service? Could you raise your rates? Could you become exclusive in who you serve or how you serve them? Could you bring on a sponsor? what else could you do? And I would love, if you want to brainstorm here, feel free. You've got a team full of people who can help you brainstorm those ideas too. I want to encourage you, though, to not just rely on one source of income. You have, at this point in your business or your life, a wealth of knowledge and experience. And your story and how you've gotten to where you are is going to inspire somebody else. And how are you sharing that? How are you showing up for people? Who are you showing up for? And how are you delivering that message? So I wouldn't suggest that you do all of these things, but pick one on the list or that you've brainstormed yourself, and consider how you could go about things a little bit differently. I wasn't considering how I could go about things differently, and so it happened for me. But it doesn't have to be that way. Your story doesn't have to be that way. You could make a choice now and say, what has been on my heart to try that I've been ignoring? Or has there been kind of a certain person that keeps coming to me, and I'm not really solving their challenge, but how could I? What could I do while still honoring me and where I want to go in my mission? How might that show up for you? How else could you earn more, work less, and be less stressed? How could you be that person with her feet up, relaxed at the end of the day? Or while you're working, how could you be that person? What is possible? Take some time to brainstorm, especially if you're watching the replay. Take a pause, get out your journal, write these ideas down, and then come back to watching again. So one of the big aha moments for me in this whole journey was that in order that I earn the income that I desired, I would have to work client-facing 52 hours a week. Just me, whether it was me personally or my employees, 52 hours a week. And my growth was going to be limited at that point by the amount of time in the week. So I'm not saying that you remove yourself completely from the equation, but just have some awareness. How much do you need to pay yourself? And are you paying yourself first? And how many hours do you need to work in order to receive the income you desire? 52 hours a week, it's not uncommon for an entrepreneur to work a lot more than their employees do. That's just kind of, I love the quote that I've seen that says, an entrepreneur will work 80 hours a week just so that she doesn't have to work 40 hours a week. So this idea of going back to corporate and all of that kind of stuff sounds so so distasteful, but at the same time, we work ourselves to death. So what else can we do to pay ourselves more, to pay yourself first? And how many hours do you need to work in your current model in order that you can help yourself in that way? I'm going to pause something here for just a moment. Please don't mind me. Do not mind the man behind the curtain. I love my children, and if you work from home, you may have experienced this as well. They have decided that now is the time to go online and take the internet. I don't want to take away from you, so I want to make sure that my connection here is solid. I have a feeling I'm going to have some unhappy kids in just a few moments here. All right, so this is our chance to talk about this idea of value-based pricing. In your current model, you have your hourly rate if you're a service provider, or you have your price per product. You have your desired income, and you have the number of hours that you need to work in order to meet your financial goals. Is what you're doing now sustainable? And that's a legitimate, question to ask. You might be excited every time you have a new client come in, but the reality is your expenses, if you're paying yourself less, there may not be anything left for you, or you may have to work an unsustainable number of hours in order to get there. So I want you in this section to just get really honest with yourself about what you need to do in order to pay yourself first and in order to pay yourself more. There's a great resource that I love to recommend to people, and that's the book Profit First by Mike Michalowicz, and you can check that out. I'll post the comment at the end just so that you have that resource for you. And his concept here is that you pay yourself first and then you pay your expenses second, that you set aside profit first, that your expenses are never more than, I think, like 50% or 20%. I'd have to go back and look at the models. Is that how you're operating right now? And if not, what shifts need to happen? What do you need to do? How could you deliver your service or your product differently in order for that to be true? As I said, I'm not a fan of dollars for hours, and the sooner that you distance yourself from that particular model, the sooner you will be able to pay yourself more. And if right now, if this is where you're stuck, if this is you holding on to both ropes going, but this is how I've done it. This is how my industry does it. This is how I've seen it done. How could I do it any differently? I want you to go back to that brainstorm that you started about all the different things that you could do. And I want you to think about what else is out there. What other models are out there? I've seen clients say, I'm not doing this. I'm moving away from it. I've created a package where I can have clients work with me for 20 hours a month and they just pay up front. That's great. That's package pricing. That's still no different from dollars for hours. So we want to get to a model that delivers on exactly what your clients need, on exactly that mission that we were talking about, and still honors where you are, and still honors your needs. So I'm going to give you an example of what this looks like. Let me see if I can move. Oh, I don't have it here. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to give you an example of this just so that you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Like I said, I was a professional organizer, so this example is a professional organizing example, and I'm sure that you can jump on board with it and kind of expand it to where you are. So, for instance, if you are a professional organizer and you bill at $50 an hour, or actually, let's make it really easy. We'll say you bill at $100 per hour, and you offer to clean somebody's storage unit out, right? You could tell them, look, I'm going to charge you $100 an hour. We'll come in, we'll work as long as it takes to get this thing cleaned up. And I think it's going to take about eight hours to do it. So $800, okay? Say, for example, that storage unit, they're paying on a low end $100 a month, right? They're paying $100 a month to have that storage unit. That means $1,200 a year. And most people have a storage unit for about 5 years. So $1,200 times 5 is $60. That's, yep, $60,000 over 5 years. Make sure that that I'm not going to do the math right now, but I think that's pretty close, right? So what's the value of cleaning out that storage unit? You're going to save that person potentially $60,000 over the course of 5 years. If you come in one time and charge them $800. So value-based pricing is a concept that I pulled from Alan Weiss, and he has a book that's dedicated to just this, but I want to just drop this nugget in here. As you're thinking about what you can do for your customers, think about the value of what you can do. What is it, the result that you can give to them, and knock it down by 10 times, right? So if I can deliver a cleaned storage unit that's going to save that person $60,000, and I can do that for $6,000, then that's extremely valuable, right? So we want to look at the value over the lifetime of whatever you're doing, and then just 10%, right? 10% of the value. Now you've got to be honest with what you're doing. You have to be able to deliver on your results. But so often we get ourselves wrapped up in this dollars for hours model that doesn't serve the client and it doesn't serve us. So I just want you to ponder these ideas a little bit and see where it comes up and how it's striking you. And if it's something you want to try out, post that in the messaging. And if not, then that's okay too. But brainstorm around where you can go with this, okay? All right, we're going to just keep going. So I mentioned very briefly that the first three ideas, the first three concepts were part of a larger model. They're called the 9 Principles of Sustainable Business Success, or the Creating Momentum program. And they include your rear view vision, your who, what mission, your STAR culture, your brain-based time and tasks, your contracted organization, systems, strengths, spiderweb connections, and just one focus. All of these things together. And if you'd like to learn more, everything is inside this book, The Roadmap to Freedom, that you can get simply by texting the number that's below you on the screen. My gift to you is a way to work through this material that we're talking about here. As you go through it, there's an opportunity, if you wish, to reach out and talk to me about the results that you're getting. 15 minutes to jump on the phone. Please don't hesitate to take advantage of that opportunity. It's one of my greatest joys is to be able to go through this with you and to support you in that. And that is why at this point, I would like to share with you an opportunity that you have today and for the next 2 days. It's a limited time offer to join the 3-month Business Breakthrough Program. We have a session that's starting up in just a couple weeks, and I'm filling 9 slots. 9 slots because we already have some registration in, and it's not open to everyone. It's not a good fit for everyone for that matter. But the 3-month Business Breakthrough is designed, as it says, to give you that breakthrough within 3 months, to show you how it's possible to let go of the rope behind you, catapult your business forward, and get the results that you need for growth. In addition to that, and I'm going to explain that in greater detail in just a moment, if you register through this webinar within the next 3 days, you will also receive 1 ticket to the launch event that's happening October 2nd and 3rd for free. That ticket is regularly priced at almost $1,500, and it will be included if you sign up for the 3-month Business Breakthrough in the next 3 days. So let's see, I want to kind of explain what this program is and why it would be relevant for you. So the 3-month Business Breakthrough includes 90 days of laser coaching, of an opportunity to work one-on-one and get one-on-one coaching as needed, when you need it. It includes accountability support so that you get the tools and support that you need to move through this process and break through to your next level of success. The value for this is $15,000. And just this piece of it alone, I have seen results that, I gotta say, they amaze me. I get excited when this happens. If you could invest, and I'll tell you the price in a little bit, but if you could invest $100 and get back $200, that would be a win, right? Especially if whatever you invest in is going to teach you how to take anything that you're ever working on and turn it into a money-generating opportunity. So in the 3-month Business Breakthrough, we have a proven system that we work through, daily tasks that we're going to be implementing that are based on getting you results. They're based on those 9 principles that I've seen sustainable businesses that are in it for the long haul, that have great results. These are the things that all of them have, and we go through each and every one of them. You work with your peers on a weekly basis in order to mastermind and get results as you go along. But just last week, and I'm going to be sharing her story more with you, just last week, one of our 3-month Business Breakthrough participants, she didn't just break through, she just like busted through and knocked the ceiling right out of the house. She 38 times That was not an error. She 38 times her income in this program. She went from beginning to not knowing exactly what direction she was going in. She had a business. She was really trying. She was working so hard and not getting anywhere. She was truly stuck, to having her first multiple five-figure month ever, and 38 times her business. So I'm not saying that these results are what everyone will get, but it is possible. Prior to that, we had someone go through this program and 3 times her business, which was enormous. And at that point, I thought, this is absolutely amazing, and I'm so excited for these results. But this is what's possible with laser coaching, with laser support, with a support system that no matter what, no matter where you go, you are not going to fall off of the bridge. You can let go and move forward in your business. So that is part of what you get. In addition to that, as I said, you have 12 mastermind sessions with your peers valued at $5,000. So right now, we're already up to $20,000 value for this program. But I promise you, you're going to get this, you're going to get the results, and this is not your price. You have Momentum Insider enrollment, which gives you all the tools that I've ever created. It gives you weekly accountability check-ins and access to the unlimited resources in our mastermind vault, our masterclass vault, all available to you. The value for that is $15,385. It's included. That brings our package up to $35,385. Even if one of these things worked for you to give you the ideas that you needed in order to break through, it would be worth the investment. The next thing that you get is you get the Take Control system, which is my proven system on how to get and stay organized. It's delivered to you. You implement it step by step on your own. The value for that is $997. We throw that into the program. The total value at this point is $36,382. Then we add on top of that your own personalized one-on-one business assessment. This is you and me working together. We have time ahead where we look at what exactly is going on. I always recommend that we do this at the end of the business breakthrough, because you have already gone through all the material, and then we're going to craft your exact step-by-step assessment and plan to move forward. That is valued at $4,997. We're up to $41,379, whatever. You can read it on the screen. In addition, I give you all the tools and assessments and workbooks and recordings that you need. You throw that all in there. It's another $1,997. We're up to $43,376. But your investment in this program to get everything that I just shared with you, to get the results, to help you break through your business challenge right where you are right now, is only $5,000. That's 88% off. It's only $5,000. But I want to make this super, super easy. So in addition to everything that you've already received, if you sign up in the next 3 days, you also get the ticket to the launch program, which is valued at $1,497. That event happens October 2nd and 3rd. Your ticket is included. There's no other place where you are going to get this for free. And we put that into the program just to make sure that you not only have the breakthrough experience, but as you go through it, you're going to get a chance to meet with and create your plan with peers going forward. You can check that out at sapariconsulting.com. There's a button at the top that says launch. You can check out everything that's included there. That's what you're going to be getting is a bonus ticket today and the next 2 days. And I really, truly wanted to make it so easy for you to say yes today. So I've made it so that the only investment that you have to make today is a deposit of $500 if you want to move forward. After that, you'll be given an opportunity to pay in just 3 installments of $1,500 each. Our program starts on July 8th. As I said, we only have 9 more seats to go through this program. I keep it very small because it's an intimate setting and I want to make sure everybody gets their breakthrough experience. I can't guarantee that if it's 50 people, so we keep it very small. 9 more seats left for this program starting July 8th. And the only thing you need to do today is a $500 deposit in order to get started. If you are interested, I told you that I decided to bring this presentation to you without a whole lot of preparation. I decided yesterday that I was going to be coming on to do this webinar today. I wrote to my friend Jen Hickel, who's in our chat feed here today, and said, I don't see how I can do this. There's just no way I can get this out to everybody in the timeline that I have. And she said, make it simple, make it easy, just ask them to email you if you want to get started. And so I'm taking Jen's advice. And so if you would like to get started, all you need to do is send an email, or you can even just message right here in the feed and say, I'm ready to get started. I will send you the link and everything you need to move forward. All you have to do today is send an email to info@momentumaccountability.com. And I'm even just going to type this right into the comments, info@momentumaccountability.com. Okay, send an email right here. Private message me. I will get you started. If you would like, I will be happy to send you the program PDF so you can see exactly what's included. I don't even have a sales page for this program because it's all been filled by word of mouth. And I just haven't stopped to take the time to do it. So if you'd like, I do have a program brochure I can send to you. It is what you see in that program brochure plus the launch retreat and the opportunity to pay with a $500 deposit, installments, 3 installments after that of $1,500 each. After this, after today, after this, the replay goes out, that's it. You will no longer have the opportunity to get the launch ticket. There won't be an option to make to come in with just a $500 deposit. So it really, truly requires you to take action now. And I want to ask you, as you stand there with your hand on the rope in front and your hand on the rope in back, knowing that you can get to that platform ahead of you because you know in your heart and your mind that that's where you're supposed to go, how long are you going to stand there on the bridge waiting for something to happen, comfortable in your support system, but not going anywhere? It's time to move forward. The woman who had that breakthrough and 38 times her business, we were working on her business in increments, and it took shaking things up in this experience, in this 3-month business breakthrough experience, to have that massive shift and change. And she had to let go of something that was holding her back. And when she did, it was like the machine just clicked into place and perfect motion forward. Is it going to be easy? No. I mean, we're just changing, right? Now we're on the wiggly bridge. And the next thing we're going to be on is, a spot where there's spaces missing, where we're going to have to take leaps of faith, right? So she's moving up. At some point, she's going to get on the zip line. But right now, she just needs to step forward to the next step in front of her, knowing that she has a full support system around her, and you do too. All you need to do is send me an email, reply to this presentation, message me. I'd be happy to get you the information to take that next step and make the $500 deposit. As I said, just the next 3 days. So please do not wait too long if you're contemplating this. If you need to have a conversation around it, I get it. I'm that kind of person. I need to think about it. I need to talk about it. And so if that's you too, just reach out, please. I don't want you to miss this opportunity because of a conversation that you're having in your head, which I get as well. But it's time to move forward. It's time for your breakthrough. Let's see what I have next here. And I would love to learn from you today. what was your greatest gift? What did you pull from our conversation today that you're going to use going forward? Share it below. It ends up being valuable not only to you to lock in your learning and understanding, but also to those participants around you who then say, oh yeah, I get that. I understand where she's coming from. So please share your greatest gift in the chat below. And always, there are so many ways to get and stay connected. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. If you have not already done so, please take the time to text FREEDOM to 411321 and do get that book that you can get started with. That is it for today. I'm going to stay on. I'll be staying on and nearby if you have any questions, if you're ready to get started, and I can help you out with that. Don't forget to type in the chat box below your greatest gift from our time together, and I look forward to getting started with you so that you can also have your big breakthrough.